Hello guys and gals, it's me Mutahar, and today I want to talk about how Futa Hentai is not actually gay.
Whoa! How's it going, everybody? Woo! Now you might be like, whoa, Moody's starting off with a little bit of a spicy take there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you heard there was artificial intelligence of me. Floating around on the internet. Now, there's been a bit of a trend, all right? Some from a month ago, some from a couple weeks ago, of people taking my voice and making deepfake AI versions of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a simple rule. I don't really care what you make out of it. If you want to talk about Futanaris and space and all that crazy stuff, feel free. You know, I don't care. I ain't gonna take you down. Unless, of course, you make me say some really blatantly, like wild stuff, offensive stuff that could get me removed off of any platform, Alex Joned up out of here. Then, yeah, we've got some strike problems going on here, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, AI is here, and honestly, I choose not to protest because this is kind of like Pandora's box. Once it's open, the genie's out of the bottle. I ain't gonna be like some of those tech bros who are like, maybe we should stop development for 6 months. Yeah, how's that gonna work out there, chief? And I'm also not like the social media world where anytime I come across artificial intelligence, I honestly I'm honestly like a boomer and I throw acid on it. No, I think artificial intelligence is here. And I think in a matter of months, it's going to get so good that trying to identify it as something that's not human-made may be a little too difficult to tell. Right now, obviously, it's cool, but it's still in its infancy. We can probably see the multiple fingers, the lack of inflections, as you heard in that voice clip that I showed you. But honestly, in 6 months, a year, it'll be completely different. This technology is progressing so fast that covering it, in real time is nearly impossible. There's just too many advancements.
We must know which gender a Futanari is. Futas are hermaphrodites and therefore are not male or female, but a genetic abnormality.
Oh man, god damn! Now, of course, this wasn't the only bit that I had, alright? It wasn't the only sort of a Futanari mention. There were other cases, like for instance right here, this is Mutahar AI voice test, very realistic. So again, thankfully to a lot of people that cover this, yes, they always do identify it as artificial intelligence, and even the description is I did not get Muta to voice this. Yes, it's artificial intelligence. Here they said they use something known as 11 Labs, which I've heard of. So let's listen to this one real quick.
Anime titties and Redditors have one thing in common. They are both fat.
Oh man. I don't co-sign that statement. That's too rude.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today I will be fisting my asshole while puking out rotten cheese because I have AIDS.
Yeah, see, obviously some people would wonder, dang, Muta would not have ever seen this. Muta would not have ever actually voiced that. This ended up getting 74,000 views. And to be honest, obviously the artificial intelligence is not that crazy good. But at the same time, the artificial intelligence, all it's missing, in my opinion, are inflections. Once it can master an inflection, which in some models they already kind of do, they're getting a lot better than what you just heard. And remember, this is 2 months ago. It'll be the end game, okay? At this moment, it's going to be done. Now, of course, 2 weeks ago, there was a channel known as the Bidenator, and this is the president meme channels, which they get the presidents together and they play Minecraft or GTA and call it a day. They get them to voice act through AI. So again, let's listen to this one real quick. It gets wild.
I might consider unbanning him.
Yep, Bro Saul, that's your full iron set.
Okay, that's nice. And the golden apples?
Yep, I'm dropping them.
Glad to be working with professionals. Okay, I'm establishing contact with the guy.
Nice.
Give me a second. Okay, got it. Want me to add him to the call?
Yeah, sure, bro.
Yo, what's up, dudes? What kid are we doxing today?
Wait, dude, your secret contact is Mutahar from Some Ordinary Games?
Yo, Mutahar, it's been a while, dude. How you been?
All good, Obama. And yeah, it's been a while. Want to hang out again one of these days?
I'm always down, bro.
Check your DMs, Mutahar. I sent you the kids' Discord info.
Got it, bro. I'm forwarding it to my deep web contacts.
Now, of course, you could probably clip a lot of that out of context, and I'd be in some trouble. But ladies and gentlemen, even 2 weeks ago, obviously, it's not perfect artificial replication, but I would say it's getting pretty goddamn good, all right? Again, once those inflections are mastered, and once you have more data to work with, which when it comes to people who create content, obviously we have hours of clean, crisp audio to feed. So again, we're just providing these models with all sorts of goodies that they need in order to fully refine themselves. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, again, like I said in the beginning, I don't really care if you use any of my AI-generated voices. Now, again, at the end of the day, I don't care if you use my voice. I find it pretty humbling that you guys, people care enough to use my voice for artificial intelligence projects. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever. If you want to use me to voice act a Futanari mod for Grand Theft Auto, I don't even care. Feel free. But yeah, it is what it is. So artificial intelligence is here. It's here to stay. And there's no getting rid of it. Now, it's getting even wilder in the last couple days because literally yesterday, in fact, a couple hours ago, a song that I was listening to on Spotify, on YouTube, was just randomly mute. Now, this song, for those of you who don't know, is from Drake and The Weeknd. Now, it's called Heart on My Sleeve, and I'm not going to play this audio track for you because right now, Universal Music Group is going full John Wick on people, okay? We're talking they're busting down the door and putting 2 in the chest and 1 in the head. Now, of course, this song by Drake and The Weeknd is not a song that either of these people sang. They had nothing to do with the project. The song is 2 minutes and 24 seconds of pure AI generation. That means their lyrics, that means their sound, that means their audio, that means their vocals have all been synthesized through artificial intelligence. And it sounds pretty good. Now, I'm not going to say it's a perfect song. Like, I would say like a third of the bars don't really hit. But generally speaking, when you listen to Drake and The Weeknd in this track, it almost sounds like it really is those guys rapping. And it was realistically just made by a dude with a bedsheet, Ghostwriter, who has actually been nuked from Spotify, YouTube, and plenty of other channels as far as I've been able to tell. And from what I understand, Universal Music Group is about to throw some litigation down on this guy, which is scary, and it also poses a new question. How do you copyright somebody's voice? This guy didn't steal a song. He didn't steal lyrics. He used artificial intelligence to synthesize 2 rappers' voices. Now, again, at the end of the day, you could argue that the AI, the generative artificial intelligence that Ghostwriter used, scraped data off of other people's, music, out of other people's lyrics, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, that's a whole different matter. What are they actually copyright claiming? They are copyright claiming material that they did not themselves make. Did they make the beat? Did they make the lyrics? Did they make the actual rappers sing the song? Are the voices copyrighted? And again, it poses a question. Obviously, the US legal system is really fucked anyways. If you just have money for days, like if you just have like billions of dollars, you can pretty much bankrupt anybody out of litigation, unfortunately. And in this case, I really do want to see this go to court simply because I want to see how they're going to actually police copyright on artificial intelligence. I mean, this really needs a goddamn judgment. Listen, at the end of the day, this is wild. For streaming services like Spotify, YouTube, whatever, this is something that I'm pretty sure the music industry is going to go to war with if they allow any AI-generated content on their platform. And then, of course, even beyond just the AI-generated content, the question is, how do you put the genie back in the bottle? This song is floating around all over YouTube. Once it's been out there, getting rid of anything on the internet, especially when it's gone this viral, is downright impossible. I mean, the fact is, the only reason I know about this is quite honestly because of the Streisand effect, because the big music industry wanted to get rid of this. Now, at the end of the day, do I think that, AI music should absolutely exist? It's touchy. I obviously don't like the fact that there are artists out there that are getting cheated out of their royalties, their money, simply because their actual voices are used to generate this music. Nothing is stopping the industry from creating a bunch of, shell company labels, putting it on, going on to these streaming services, signing up, and creating AI-generated music and just throwing it up there. Again, to detect if AI-generated music is actually AI-generated requires, in my opinion, another counter-AI to actually work against it. Which at this point, you're just blowing my mind with again, it's going to be tough to police. So again, it's even wilder because for a lot of people, a couple of months ago who were like, AI art is basically going to put artists out of business, we're at a point where musicians have to kind of question it too. So Google just made something called Music LM, which is generating music from text. And the results are actually quite interesting. So for instance, one of the captions they fed this AI was the main soundtrack of an arcade game. It's fast-paced, upbeat, with a catchy electric guitar riff. The music is repetitive and easy to remember, but with unexpected sounds like cymbal crashes or drum rolls. So they got a 30-second piece, which we'll listen to real quick. I think that's about the best that they can ever expect out of it. I mean, that for entry starter artificial intelligence, that's not bad. Now, I'm sure that there's a few people who are like, Muda, that music sounds soulless. Yeah, but that's just the start. Again, I'm telling you, go forward 12 months and ask yourself, is this going to get better with that time? Or is it going to stay the same? Look at the advancements in artificial intelligence technology and look me in the eye and tell me, is it still going to be as soulless as you think? Or is it going to be totally refined? We'll have to find out. Literally, this AI can actually generate music based on the timings you give. So for instance, this is a story, like audio generated. So like the first 0 to 15 is time to meditate, then wake up. Let's listen to it real quick. So probably around 7 seconds, which is where we'll hear the meditation, and you'll hear the transition into the wake up. So listen to it real quick. I don't know where the hell the actual vocals started coming out of, but interesting enough to hear, there was that change, there was that turn, and again, this is just generative AI being generative AI. Now, obviously, we have to also know the question here is that, like, throughout time, clearly they're using already generated audio, already generated music to feed this artificial intelligence. If it's something that we know from AI, is it does not create on its own. It's literally just data sets that it's interpreting from. And that's where the reality comes into. Where is the copyright law in this situation, especially when an AI has used the content that it's seen to generate new content in its eyes? Could one not argue that artificial intelligence is just a computerized version of having any form of influence from other artists? I'm pretty sure a lot of rappers are influenced by other rappers that came before them. So could you not argue that artificial intelligence is just the digitization of that aspect as well? Or is it the sole aspect of a human being creating it versus ones and zeros? Now, what are the legalities around this too? Even when you come to deepfakes, lately there's one act that I've seen come up into Congress, which is the Deepfakes Accountability Act. Now, this was introduced in 2019, and I heard about this on streams. So again, it's an older act, but it's one that I think does a fairly okay job of talking about what deepfakes are and how to somewhat counteract them. So it actually lists that for deepfakes, if you're creating them, before you post them on the internet, you need to make sure that they have a watermark, especially if they're an audiovisual or again, whatever record. You need to have a visible watermark at some moment, or an auditory one if it's a piece of audio, just so the people that are listening to it will know that this is a deepfake, not actual human beings. Now, of course, I have no problems with this whatsoever. If you're creating deepfakes of people, and obviously you're doing it to create memes and jokes, having any form of watermark is not a bad idea whatsoever. Now, of course, the only people that I feel like would ever have a problem with this are the ones that want to use this technology to spread misinformation or, you know, get somebody canceled. Could you imagine if this gets so sophisticated, 12 years down the road, every single one of your favorite YouTubers or content creators or streamers will have a clip of them that is so highly cancelable, and you won't be able to identify, is this even real or is this fake? I mean, it's such a wild scenario to be in. You know, it's a wild world that we're in. But of course, is it going to stop? No, artificial intelligence is here. And if you think that we can suddenly put the genie back into the bottle, you're absolutely mistaken. Again, I want to ask what your thoughts are on this. Obviously, I'm looking at this technology, but it doesn't even stop at just music and videos. Even video gaming has gotten artificial intelligence to generate fakery. Recently, I was playing Cyberpunk 2077. They had a new Brig update, which I want to make a separate video of, but just to give you a quick idea, if you have a 4090 or a 40 series card or like a very high-end 30 series NVIDIA card, there's something known as overdrive mode, where the ray tracing features go beyond the roof, and it is genuinely beautiful to play. The only problem is, using that level of graphical fidelity, raw, puts my 4090 into like the 20 frames per second range. Now, the only reason I'm able to get 90 frames and make it playable is through, a resolution AI boosting techniques like DLSS, but also frame generation, which literally creates fake frames in the game. There are actually frames in this gameplay footage that aren't even from the game's renderer. It's from NVIDIA's driver generating fake frames using a bunch of data that the game is feeding to it. So it's going to be the future where, like, in order to generate, like, actual rasterization of video games, there's going to be graphic drivers creating fake frames to pepper on in just so you can get a higher frame rate. It's a wild world that we live in, ladies and gentlemen, and it's an amazing time to witness. It's a scary time, and it's one that I want to ask you what your thoughts are on it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Am I real?